Hey, what's up, fellas? How you doing? Man, Antonelli here.
Hey, what's going on, guys? How we doing? Man, Antonelli here today, talking recruiting. The thing I want to stress today is to make sure that you're putting as much work as possible into developing your skill set. And we talk a lot, or a lot of recruiting talk is about making sure that you're, attending the right tournaments and playing for the right teams and contacting coaches and creating the right target list and visiting schools, and it goes on and on and on. But ultimately, the number one thing, the most important thing that's going to make the biggest difference is your skill set. So you can do all those other things and you can do it perfectly, but if you can't play, then you can't play, ultimately. So if you don't have the skill set that warrants playing at whatever school it is on your target list, or wherever you visited, or any coaches you've talked to, or all that stuff, if you don't have the skill set, it doesn't really matter. So they go together, they go hand in hand. But a lot of times players, when it comes to recruiting process, they sometimes neglect the skill set part of it. So they neglect the making sure that when they step on the field for that team, or at that showcase, or at that camp, that the coaches say, that's the dude right there that I want. That's the guy that can play for my school. All right? Ultimately, you have to be able to play. It's the most important thing. And it's really important to focus on this, especially when you're a little bit younger. So, I talk a lot to players when they're young. Like, there's some players in 8th grade or freshman year of high school, and all they're talking to me about is recruiting. I got to be showcased. I have to make sure that I'm getting to all these right places, and I've got to travel the world, and I've got to play for a team that's, going to really promote me and really showcase me to these schools. And that's all great. But especially at a young age, at that time of your career, it's really, really about development. And that's one of the things that we try to stress with our teams, and I try to stress with our players, is first you have to make sure that you have the skill set. And so it's about development. Like, that's one of the main parts of our program. That's why we have so many workouts in the winter. That's why we have practices during the summer. I mean, there's a lot of teams now, and there's a lot of players that don't even practice anymore. They play in games, and then they're going to events, and they're not working on their game. And when you go to an event, like when you go to a showcase, and again, I'm not saying that showcases and all that stuff and events are part of the process, but when you go to those things, you're going to get, if you're an infielder, you'll probably get 4 or 5 ground balls. You'll hit 8 balls in the batting cage. You'll run a 60, and then you're going to play in a game. So you may only get like 20 total reps altogether. And so if that's really all you're doing from the time you're in 8th grade, if that's the only thing you're really focused on, then are you going to improve as much as you should? So just make sure you're focusing on that and thinking about that. Everybody gets caught up in all this exposure stuff, right? I need the exposure. And exposure is huge, like I said, but it's only one piece of the puzzle. And you can be exposed to schools as much as you want, but if you don't have the ability, then what's the point of getting all the exposure? Yeah, they're going to see you a lot, but they're not going to like you. And the main goal is to be liked by a school. You need a school to think that you're going to help them win, that you have the ability to help their team win ball games. All right, so you have to be good enough. So make sure you're not neglecting that. All right, it's a huge part of the process. Let me know if you have any questions in the comment section below. Subscribe to the channel, share the video with all your friends. Give it a thumbs up, I'd appreciate that. Check out the description box below. We've got a bunch of stuff down there for you guys to check out. We've got a deal going on with Plate Crate. If you click the link, type in Antonelli, get 50% off your first Plate Crate. Also have a link to our Patreon page where you can help support the channel. We'd really appreciate that. A lot of people have been doing that recently, so thank you so much if you're one of those people. What else do we have? We got a bunch of other stuff down there to check out as well, so definitely do all that. And that's all I got, guys. Thanks so much for watching. I appreciate it, and we will talk to you later.